So, with my most recent defeat in my previous Rimworld world by malaria, how about instead we try a crash landing scenario, Randy Random losing his fun with a seed of why on a mountainous ice sheet with 3 pawns mostly picked at random. We have the lovers of Matt and Bush. Matt, who refuses to do any dumb labor but has a love for animals and an interest in science, but he can be abrasive. Meanwhile, Bush is a psychopathic pessimist with a chemical interest problem who loves to craft and doing melee attacks. And lastly is Astrid, who is industrious, nervous teeter-totterer, who is afraid of doing cooking because she's afraid that she may catch fire, as well as a fear of art and science for being judged. Now with these 3, let's crash down. Right, first thing I want to do is, when we drop down, is to look at the map, check the wildlife, because there are caves in this place, in this mountains. We can find bug hives, which will be a great way of getting ourselves some free food, the insect jelly. So we can try to sneak into their lair later on and try to steal that one. But another thing for us to do is look for a good location to build our home. We're on the ice sheet, so it's going to get cold. We need warmth, and a steam geyser will give us that for free if we build on top of it. And if we're gonna try and grow crops, we're gonna need heat for that as well. And we can even grow them inside if we move parts of the roof. So, by building our house near some rocky soil, that would be great. Now, thankfully, we start with a good number of resources from our crashing pod. Things like wood that we won't be getting again anytime soon. And we want to use this wood to build anything that might require wood to build. Such as, I don't know, a butchering table. Oh, I forgot, because we just dropped, we had an animal friend who came with us, and I'm not so sure we can keep them alive forever, so I think we need to get rid of them now, so that it doesn't suffer for later on. This will, unfortunately, hurt Ashley, who is bonded with the animal, a good bit. So, as I'm setting up our base, I didn't realize that we landed so close to the ancient danger. Now, I don't really see this thing being dangerous to us, and perhaps we might even be able to make use of this later on. Matt has nothing that he can do for us right now, so since he likes hunting and he has a gun, let's have him hunt some rabbits for us and hopefully bring back some rabbit stew. Okay, we have a base built and roofed, we have storage, and we have food to last us a little bit. But we're gonna need to actually start growing food if we want to have any hopes of surviving the long route here. Like, we can hunt, but we're not gonna be able to hunt forever. And once these survival meals are gone, we're on our own. And crops won't grow without sunlight, so if we open up the roof a little bit to let in light, I think we can move about 25% of the roof without losing all the heat from that geyser. Although I could be mistaken. And, oh yeah, we also need to make sure that we keep our pawns' moods up. Giving them things like their own bedroom, eating meals at a table and sitting in a chair, and actually sleeping on proper beds instead of sleeping on the floor. Matt's probably going to be a bit of an annoyance. We don't have much that he can do, or there's not much that he is willing to do. So, we won the hunt, but we also, I guess, we're gonna have him doing research almost all the time. Which is both a blessing and a curse, because we'll get a lot of science done, but he's not really gonna help out around the base. And, well, speaking of research, the first thing we're gonna do is research batteries. Which, I don't know, I feel like there should be a default research for this type of scenario. I mean, you always want batteries when you got electricity, so not having it... I don't know. I just know that we need it for power, and speaking of power, here's a fun fact. 2 wind turbines running at their slowest speed, unblocked, is enough to power 1 heater non-stop. 2 of them will generate you 184 watts, when you only need 175 for the heater. Oh, we got an eclipse. Okay, well, we now have solar panels, that's not going to hurt power production. However, without the sunlight, our potatoes aren't going to be growing. Oh! Right, the bugs. We should make it so that the pawns won't go towards their base, as they will probably die if they did when the bugs... If the bugs woke up and we happen to be in the middle of their base stealing their jelly. Although we do want to steal that jelly. Okay, batteries are now researched, so let's try and think ahead. Hydroponics can be very good. And this just... Hydroponics can be good. However, the sun lamp is also useful. If I put this down, we can actually patch up the ceiling and have more crops growing at a consistent rate, so I'm not worrying about solar eclipses. We just need to make sure that we have the batteries down, because the sun lamps require a 1.5 tons watts of power. I think it's like 2,800 watts when in use, and, well, the batteries will charge up at night when they aren't being used as much, so, yeah, maybe this will be fine. Ah, name time. I don't have anything in mind, so we're just going with the game has for us. And not long after that, do we get a raid. And they're attacking now. It is only 2 pawns, one with a knife, one with a gun. Okay, nothing but a bruise on Birch, so that's actually great. Now, let's see if we can get the other one. Well, despite bleeding to death and down an eye, the other one gets away as Matt just couldn't hit him in melee. Oh well, I was hoping to get his gun and clothes, but oh well. Now, for the dead body, how about we try feeding it to the bugs? The idea being that hopefully they'll eat the body and not the jelly, so that we can steal the jelly later on. Okay, the sun lamp is using up a lot of power. So, it may be in my best interest to build another wind turbine. Or 3. Or maybe another battery. Okay, looking at stock, I'm thinking a nutrient paste dispenser is in the works if we want to survive out here. Probably having more potatoes as well. The 20 tiles we have growing potatoes might not be enough. And thankfully we are very lucky to have so much steel right within our base, so we don't have to go out into the world to find it, and hopefully none of this is considered overhead mountain because I don't want an infestation. If that was to happen to us anytime soon, it could be game over, especially in the winter with how cold it'll get. Well, thanks Randy. Some sheep have just joined the colony. I don't really have room or food for pets, as like what happened to the monkey earlier, but I mean... yeah, I think the humane thing is to make sure these sheep don't suffer. Who wants lamb chops? Oh, well, this is, sad. Matt and Bush have broken up. That's... wow. They're no longer lovers and will not want to share the same room. And they won't be getting the got some lovin' mood buff anymore. So, I'm probably gonna have to build another room, as well as make another bed. Okay, Bush almost had an encounter with Bugkind. I really need to remember to have her unrestricted when we aren't stealing jelly. Okay, things are moving along. I'm deconstructing some of the ruins in the air, dealing with small mental breaks, nothing too much, and we have traders coming in. War merchants, to be precise, and I think we can use this to our advantage. Ah, perfect. That's one down. Now let's get the other one. Shoot, not good. Not good. Matt has taken a hit. Okay, and now he's down, and he's bleeding badly. Shoot. Rescue time, rescue time. We gotta save him. It might not be the smartest move, but I think we might want to use that little old medicine that we got. Actually, isn't exactly the best doctor, and these do look bad. $60, $55, $63. Okay, let's try the other meds now. 61, 40. Okay. The normal meds may have been a good enough option on their own, but I don't know. You can never be too careful, especially when we got something like this. And also, it looks like somebody must have fallen outside, because there's food and SP on the floor. And I mean, hey, if they don't want to take it, I will take the fall, and I will sadly bring them into our stockpile. Also, there are cryo-sleep caskets in the Ancient Danger, and I do not want to touch those. Because, as far as I know, anything could be in them. And that's a risk I'm not willing to take right now. Ooh, but before these traders leave, they actually have some parkas on them that I will gladly buy. We don't have much cash on hand, and we don't really have anything that I can sell or I want to sell. But parka for Ashley and a parka for Bush would be great, as these are the ones that are going outside the most. And Matt, well, he'll just have to stay inside and work on the research bench. Alright, sensory mechanoids. Sensory mechanoids. Well, this is a bit of a mixed bag now, isn't it? They will make my pawn a little bit better in their abilities, but also causes pain. And we can treat this disease, but it'll only go away on its own, and the treatment only lessens the pain if it's even possible. So, I really don't know how to feel about this. Alright, hydroponics is finally research. Now I'm thinking we might want to rely on solar panels if we're going to go for hydroponics. As we're going to need more power, as wind alone just isn't doing it. And solar would be nice, as they do work the most in the day, which is when the sun lamps are working. So that could counteract it, and might also help us get food sooner, as soon as possible. Assuming that the hydroponics don't lose power, because when they do, we lose the food. Also, just the fact that hydroponics can't be moved after being placed, so you're either finding the perfect spot for them now or deconstructing them later. Oh, no, this could be bad. Matt is now in a daze, up by the bug nest. Please, please, don't go for that jelly, for the love of God. Servos? Well, I mean... Okay, that's cool. Nice seeing them. They won't do anything to me because I don't have any food growing outside, and they ain't going to my house, and I ain't fighting them. I sure as hell ain't fighting them. And now Bush is in a daze! 66% of my settlement is now out of my control. Grand. 66% of my settlement is now out of my control. Grand. Ooh. The weather's getting so cold. The smaller bugs are actually dealing with hypothermic shutdown, which means that they are hibernating until it gets warmer. But they may not survive to see the spring. It's fall now. So, depending on their food levels, they could very well starve. But since they're hibernating, that means that they won't be eating food, which means more for us to steal. However, if they're already down now, the mega spiders may also go into hibernation. And if that happens, the nest will die and that will be no more jelly. But unfortunately, what will happen, we'll have to wait until next time, as that's all I got for right now. So when we come back, we'll be dealing with fall and possibly winter. So, until then, thank you for watching and have a good one.